Hello, hello. Happy Monday, everybody. I am Lachelle, also known as America's Supermom, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. I wanted to come on live because I've received so many people saying congratulations to my work anniversary. And I thought, I started writing down some stuff that I wanted to say. And I just said, let me just do a video because this way I could talk to more people at the same time. So, for those of you that are watching this and you're like, okay, she's talking about an anniversary, I don't even know who she is. I am Lachelle, also known as America's Supermom. My husband and I have 15 children, and my platform is mental wellness. I'm a vitality coach to help people navigate through the chaos of everyday life and transform it into clarity and confidence with a smile. So we still have 10 children at home, and it is chaotic right now because I have one who is graduating in a few days. She'll be graduating on Thursday. And so I'm going to have some slides and everything to kind of go through this whole process with everybody. But I just wanted to first say thank you guys so much for the words of encouragement for my kids and everything that I have been going through because it has been a challenge. It's been filled with ups and downs, twists and turns, and so many things to mention. I think the biggest thing about this 3-year anniversary is that a lot of what I do now really peaked during the pandemic. I was a stay home mom and I was doing things on a small scale somewhat. I had coaching business. I was helping people, also a Mary Kay consultant. But when the pandemic hit, things just kind of went into overload really quickly. For me, I felt like I was able to navigate through it pretty easily because chaos is really what I know a lot about. We have 10 kids at home, and it's always something. Somebody is fussing or arguing, or they need something for school, or, you're just at the store, you get home, and we need something else. I mean, it's just never ending, right? And so I just said, I'm going to learn how to really navigate through this in a way that's going to help other people. Because I know if I'm struggling with chaos, I'm sure other people are. And so that's really how I changed and kind of rebranded into Chaos Crusher, a vitality coach. I help you to live your life to the fullest in spite of the chaos, right? And we have been talking about determination and persistence in a couple of platforms that I have. And, determination is really just understanding what it is that you're working towards in spite of the obstacles. So you're not going to let anything stop you from accomplishing these things that you want to accomplish. So I want to say good morning, Paul. So good to see you. If something is good for you, it's probably good for someone else. Absolutely. Because we do have a lot in common. We have more in common than we have that are differences. So I'm so glad that I have one person joining with me. So thank you so much, Paul. So I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to add these slides into the stream. I first, again, want to say thank you all for telling me happy anniversary. And it has been a great year. And I want to focus on intention and mindset and reflecting and celebrating the small wins, right? I think this is as important. As I was going through and I was thinking, okay, it has been for me, I just go from year to year, but over the course of time, it has been 3 years with America's Supermom Company. But just thinking from year to year, I went through this timeline. I was like, wow, this isn't even everything. So I just said, I can't be here all day with everybody. Okay. So we're just going to go over a few highlights. So the first thing that's so exciting for me was that my son and daughter-in-law had my first granddaughter. So she is going to be one this Friday, and I'm so excited. So I have three grandsons, but she is the first granddaughter. So this is something that has happened over the last year. I did my first LinkedIn audio. So, for many of you that may not be familiar with LinkedIn audio, it is very similar to the Clubhouse app where you just basically audio platform. You know, you don't see each other, you're just communicating. You have a stage, you're able to have guests come up and speak with you. But I did my first LinkedIn audio interview. Well, it was his first interview with me on LinkedIn audio. So that's something that I accomplished. Now, if you don't know Dr. Ivan Meisner, he is the founder of BNI. And that is a great networking organization that really helps build your business. They really have a lot of success with referrals. And you can go and check out some of his accolades with things that he has accomplished. They have thousands of meetings per day. They're a global organization. And the fact that I was able to spend time with him, I'm just amazed. This has actually been either my third or fourth interview with him. So that was something that I'm excited about. It also was my first time speaking in the metaverse. So I was listed with a group of speakers. I believe David Meltzer was a speaker, Forbes Riley. Um, there were a lot of us. Those are some that just top of mind because I have interacted with them with other opportunities. But it was a great experience. We had to have a green screen and we had to have everything set up a certain way. But it was a really neat experience to be a part of something that is somewhat of a trailblazer. You know, I still am not really well versed with the metaverse, but I have a 9 and an 11-year old. So I feel like I need to stay relevant. And so this is really the reason why I have decided to be an ambassador with this organization because I think it's important to know what is happening in the world, you know, and in technology and all these advances. You know, I want to be relevant with my kids. Graduation. So again, I said I have 11-year-old. She graduated from fifth grade. And this morning they still have school until Friday. And she's like, I don't need to go. You know, I've already got my graduation done. You know, why do I have to go to school? We're not doing anything academic. And I called the school and I was like, well, do they really have to go? And they're like, well, we're still taking attendance. You know, the only day that they can miss is Friday. So I was like, well, I'm sorry, you got to go. So she was a little upset about that, but I'm sure she's going to have a great day. And then I have my senior. She hasn't quite graduated yet, but this is Danielle. She has plans to go to college, and this is her prom picture. And so we'll be posting lots more with her cap and gown as the weekend rolls around. So she graduates on Thursday, and then we're having a family party with friends and everybody on Saturday. And hey, Paul, glad you're here. I also did some book studies. So they have been on LinkedIn, and currently I am in one now with Paul. We are reading The Greatest Salesman in the World, right? And so this is a great book. So many nuggets and principles that really are timeless. This is what's important. You know, everybody has a trend or something that they want to follow, but these are some timeless principles that last for years and years and years. And so this is what we're studying on Thursdays. But some of the other books that we did this year are The Compound Effect and Connected to Goodness. So currently we are doing The Greatest Salesman in the World. So join us. This is a LinkedIn audio room, and we would love to have you. We have it Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we try to last about an hour or so, but it's a great place where you can dive into personal development and meet some great people that are in alignment with you. All right. I was able to be an Amazon influencer, which means I have my own storefront. So I was really excited about this. A lot of people asked me, how did I do it? First time I applied, I went through my Facebook page, and you can't go through your personal profile. It has to be a business profile if you are on Facebook. I got rejected. So at the beginning of the year, I was just scrolling through my Instagram and an ad popped up for being an influencer. I filled it out right then and there. So they looked at my Instagram profile and I was approved. And so I'm able to do live streams, which I haven't started yet. Pray for me, y'all. Um, where it's kind of like a home shopping network. You know how you have all the different things. Hey, and this next item, this is da 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 da. Yeah, I'm able to do that. So I haven't started that yet, but I can add things to my store and I can get links. So shoppable links from photos or just different things, allows me to do that. So I'm a book lover. And so I love reading a lot of books. And so this picture here is me with at the school. We had the library come to highlight some books and stuff to the kids right before the end of the school year. This was right after COVID or sometime before it or something. But this is really special for me because now one of my books is in the library, Inspirational Women of the World. So I'm going to be doing some stuff with the library in August of this year. So if you're an author, I encourage you to go to your local library and reach out to see about having your books in the library. So I have 5 books that I've been a part of. And so this was one of the books that was added into their library. Okay. Um, Oh, thanks so much, Kat. So Kat says that she loved last Thursday's book session. It was her first time attending, and we are so glad that you came. And just invite a friend, because it is really a great space. We love having everyone come and join and share their perspective. I think that's so important because me and Paul, we are in alignment on a lot of things. And I think it's so funny because he's a male, I'm a female. He's 26, I'm 52. Okay. So it's like, what can we have in common? And I just get so much insight from him, being the age that he is. And I just think it's great. So I love having conversations and talking with them, but we really want to open it up to other people and hearing their insights because it helps us all to grow and to get better. Hey, Alba. So, yeah, so if you guys are authors, go and reach out to the libraries and see about adding your books to the library. Okay, I also started a mastermind because I have a lot of people that ask me, oh my gosh, you have 15 kids, 10 of them at home. How do you do it all? Right? How do you make it where you can just seem like you have some sense, you don't seem like you're crazy and all over the place, which my desk is crazy and all over the place, scattered everywhere. But the key for me is conversations and connections. That is really how I do it because it's not about me, but it's about me being able to connect with people that help keep me focused. Right. So it's kind of like, how you have a friend who she always, she or he might have, certain things that they ask you. And you are inspired to keep doing things because they're going to ask you, hey, how's that book coming along? Or, hey, what's that project? How's it going with the thing that you started or you said you were going to do by the end of the year? They just have a way of holding you accountable. So that is really what has done it for me. And so every time that I have something that works for me, I try to incorporate it in my business so that other people can glean from it also. So I did start a mastermind. And so I believe it's really accountability and action because as we meet for the mastermind, we have conversations weekly for an hour, but then we go out and do the work. We come back and we report back. So I think a lot of things are out of sight, out of mind. And we have so many distractions. I'm here doing this broadcast. My phone is dinging, right? It's always something that is happening behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, while you're on the scene, everything. So accountability is important. So that's something that I did this year. Charity events. I think it's really important to be engaged in the community doing things. This also is a good example for me to set for my children. My dad passed away from lung cancer about 7 years ago. It's probably close to eight. And it really was a hard time because, so many memories are attached to him and my mom being present for things. And it was something that really spoke to me about thinking how I could be a good vessel for him now that he's gone. So the first thing that we started doing as a family was helping the Children's Hospital of Atlanta for kids that were faced with children's cancer. So I wanted my kids to not be afraid of cancer, to not be all stressed out and anxious about it, but, to help them to have gratitude. And I wanted to connect with children so that it would be something that is relevant to them. It's always going to be relevant for me, but I wanted it to be relevant for them, but also give them a outlet where they could feel that they could do something, right? Just simply taking coloring books to the hospital, or, certain things, blowing bubbles, right? Things like this, so that they can realize that these little things matter to people that are their age. And so we started out with that. Then I had a daughter who had to have back surgery. And so she was actually a patient at the Children's Hospital. So after her surgery, they had a prom for the um, people that were in the hospital, the children that were in the hospital. So they had gowns provided, shoes, they did their makeup. They had um, the Miss Georgia come. She was a part of the event. They had a actual ball, and they had a DJ and food, and the lady from the movie The Blind Side and Hunger Games. She came, and it was just a wonderful experience. And so that even made them even more excited about it. They weren't afraid. So we helped with the prom they had the next year after that. We had some friends come and do hair. We did their nails, makeup, and it was just a great thing. So that's kind of how they got introduced with charity. And then over time, we've done things for Mother's Day. We've done things for the firemen, policemen. I mean, it's just never ending. And so this picture here with me and the lady is Gigi's house. So this was the groundbreaking for the house. They take on young ladies that have been sex trafficked. So here in Atlanta, it's really crazy with sex trafficking. And they get these girls and then kind of rebuild them back. They're doing a lot of homeschooling, but just therapy, talking to people and trying to get themselves back into, a healthy space from being rescued from sex trafficking. And then the other picture is a walk for pancreatic cancer. I have a co-founder of the club that I have on Clubhouse. The Elephant Strategy House is what it's called now. And she is a pancreatic cancer survivor. So in July, it will be 5 years that she's cancer free. And 5 years ago, she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer with a 9% chance to live. And she's still living and walking and raising money for pancreatic cancer. I also did my solo book project. So it's really like a guided journal. I did it purposely this way because I'm a mom. And a lot of moms, we have the best intentions about, I'm going to get this book and I'm going to read it, right? And life happens. So this is really a guided journal. It goes over the 7 steps that I believe are very important in order to start to get to the core of who you are, right? Stop living behind the masks that have got you to where you are today, but you're just ready to use your voice and walk in your purpose and things like that. So, this is just kind of like dipping our toe in the water, getting ready for that. So, it's not real heavy of a book. And I did it that way on purpose so that you can begin to transform your life. So I even have things in here. I'll give you a little peek. So this comes up on a regular basis, just like daily action plan. And people are like, why do I have to keep doing this over and over again? Because every section it has this daily action plan. And it's because you have to do the little things over and over again until it becomes a habit. So I thought, should I just put this in here once? And I thought, no, people need to see it. They need to do it over and over again so that they can get into the habit of doing certain practices and routines on a regular basis so that it can transform their life. Hey, Michelle, how are you doing? So good to see you. Then the next thing was season 2 of Real Life Without Excuses. So this is my live stream TV series, and this second season was the first season that I had guests. I did the series during the pandemic with the first season, and that was all about me and the family behind the scenes, showing people how to build a brand. I also did a episode with my one of my stepchildren, their mom, and it's a whole story behind that. So you need to go watch the first season on Zandra TV network. But it was all pretty much around us because it was COVID. I didn't really feel comfortable going and traveling to Dallas, and so I had a videographer come in and film things. So I did some episodes with one of my daughters. She's a mom, and so we went through how she is doing grad school and working and all this stuff, you know, alone as a single mom. And so that was season 1. Season 2, I had guests, and it was just so much fun. And so we also have Biz Tiesman, right? That's another thing that was promoted during the season. And that is really like a video directory that is housed on the network. So, you know how you can go through, I don't know if any of you guys remember the Yellow Pages. The Yellow Pages has all the different segments and industries, plumbers, contractors, or whatever. Well, we have that on a video directory with the Zandra TV. So I think this is amazing because you're able to be housed on the network for your business. And people can click on there. And if you look really closely, underneath my name over on the right is a QR code. So while people are watching it, the QR code takes them to your website or a landing page, whatever it is that you have set up. They go directly to that by looking at your video. So that is something that was really exciting this year. From that, these were 2 of my guests. We decided to have a platform where we would do panel interviews, and we called it Bold Voices. So Misty and Rochelle and I connected on the show, and we have made a commitment to do a 12-month power partnership to where we help build each other's brand. And so as a result, we decided, let's just have this panel. So we started with the panel, then it went to a men's panel. And I have Paul on here again. So we decided during February that we were going to have, let's just invite the men. Let's see what it could be like to kind of have their perspective on some things. And so now it's a whole movement. So every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the last Tuesday of the month, is the men's panel. And so they talk about their perspective and, anything from anxiety myths that people have about men and their perspective. So that is what got started from that collaboration. Then we have a community. So it started where we would just have the interviews, and then we just needed a place where we can have the community because there's a lot of transferring and networking, and it was just hard for me to keep it all straight. So we have a community where everybody can be in there. They can post their events and things like that because, it just grows over time. And so this is something that we got started also. Then, as a result of us being connected, our last book collaboration, we were named international bestsellers. And that collaboration was underneath the leadership of one of my co hosts, Misty Riston, who was a guest on my live stream TV series. We started the panel, we got the community. She does what she does when it comes to doing group books, where she has anthologies that she creates. So we all took part in that anthology and we're international bestsellers. So if you have a book and you're afraid to do it alone, get some of your friends or connections, get with Misty and get that book out there. So this brings me to, as we're talking about all the things that I've accomplished, what is my dream team, right? And I encourage you to find out, who is your dream team? What is your big goal? I have a friend of mine who she just climbed Mount Everest. She's a 4-time world record holder for creating 1,000 songs in 1,000 days live on Facebook. So she's got 4 world records. And so she just climbed Mount Everest. But, what are your dreams? What are the things that are really driving you? Because at the end of the day, we are really our worst enemy because we self sabotage, we start going into doubt, anxiety, fear, all these other things that really do not help us to move forward with the things that we want to accomplish in life. So when you think about your dreams, what is it that you want to accomplish? So I know for me, I overcame 13 years of depression and 3 hospitalizations. And it took a team of people to help me through that process. And as a result, I'm very vocal about it now. And I feel like everybody needs to hear about what depression looks like, because for me, it didn't look like what I thought it was. I thought it was somebody who stays in the bed, doesn't want to get up, has no motivation. So the fact that I was doing all these things for my family, from field trips to community service to things at church, all, the list goes on and on. It was just not even on my radar that I was struggling with depression. But there were so many other root causes, feeling like you're not enough, no self care, afraid to say no, afraid of rejection, wanting to please everybody. I mean, I could go on for hours with that. So I feel like a lot of people suffer in silence because we can talk about depression and anxiety, stress, but at the end of the day, a lot of people don't want to talk about it. They avoid it. And then we kind of bring it up, but we don't know what to do if somebody tells us that they're stressed or something like that. So I really want to raise the conversation in a way that is normal, but we also have tools. So just like, if you're going out on a hiking trip, you have a first aid kit. If you're driving your car, you have a spare tire. We need to have tools to really help us to navigate through things that happen. We are thrown curveballs. Now, you can't always go around carrying a baseball glove, right? A mitt to catch the curveballs, but you can have some other things that you can have inside that can help you transition and change your mindset quickly when necessary. So Kate says that her big dream is to support autistic women who have experienced severe burnout and get paid to pursue their passions and develop their talents. That's amazing. I love that. And, if we don't tell anybody about our dream, nobody's going to know, right? Have you heard that thing on Instagram? Nobody's going to know. They're not going to know. It's like some little series where they show you all these things that happen behind the scenes that nobody knows. But The point is, nobody's going to know your dream if you don't share it. So I believe that depression and anxiety is a big problem. And I need some big, heavy hitters on my team to help raise awareness about it. So my goal is to collaborate with Oprah Winfrey and Jimmy Fallon. I believe they both have audiences and they both have an element that is important, I think, when it comes to moving past, your past. Okay. Moving beyond what happened yesterday. First you have to believe in yourself. If you know Oprah's story about the things she had to overcome, but she kept on going. She didn't give up. She was determined. And look at where she is today. Jimmy Fallon, such a great sense of humor. He understands the value of it doesn't matter how crazy he will look to make someone else laugh. And I think that's important because laughter is medicine, right? Um, so I think that's important. So Kate says my autistic naive self allowed my Instagram account to get hacked. Well, you know what? I think this is another thing, knowing what we can and can't control. Me, when it comes to Instagram, Facebook, all these different social media platforms, we can't control them because at the end of the day, they're free, right? And we get caught up on them. And this is why it's so important to build your own network. This is why I do masterminds. This is why I communicate with people in the direct messages. I do Zoom calls because you never know what can happen with some of these platforms. And I physically even have people's addresses, because sending them things in the mail, whether it's a card or a gift or, I love signing my books. So if people order a signed copy from me, I do these all by hand so that I can have a way of communicating with people. So you bring up a good point. We have to think about how much time are we investing in some of these platforms that we really don't own, right? And at the end of the day, anything could happen. That allegedly we could get hacked or whatever. We don't know what these different platforms are doing, right? So just keeping that in mind. So Cheryl is on. Hey, Cheryl, she says, my dream is to continue writing works that matter. I write about so many things that matter to me: compassionate team building, risk management for small businesses, and end of life gifts and planning. I love to write pieces that are autobiographical and helpful. I love that. And writing is really a gift and a skill that some people have. And a lot of people, even if you feel like you have a message and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not a writer, I didn't do good in English, whatever, you could speak your book, right? That was something that happened for me with a lot of content was, you can create a video, right? So just like I'm doing now, but you can record it, put it on YouTube as private, get it transcribed because YouTube will transcribe for you. Or you can have somebody else transcribe it if you want to go to Fiverr or Upwork or whatever. Have somebody transcribe it for you. And then you can go from there. You'll have it already written. And then you can add to it or take away. And it's very easy. So there are so many different things that you could do that you don't have to physically write like you used to. There's so many different ways that you can get it accomplished. And you can also do a collaboration. I say if you want to do something, you're afraid to do it by yourself, grab some people, hold on to them, and you guys do it together. When I first started doing live video, I had a coach and she was like, you guys need to get on video because that's where it's at. And I thought, this is not going to work for me. I wasn't even very active on Facebook. I had just gotten into LinkedIn. And so that's how I found her. And so I thought, I just don't even have anybody on Facebook. I think I might have had maybe 80 or 100 friends because I just wasn't active. And so I thought, what in the world am I going to do? So I was interviewed by a gentleman on his radio show. And so I was telling him about my signature coaching program. So it's 5 steps to the program. And so I thought, wow, maybe I can see if he would like to do a Facebook Live video series with me. And so I just reached out and asked him, and he said yes. And so that's how I got started. So we had everything happen to us under the sun. The feedback was happening. And, sometimes he couldn't hear me. I couldn't hear him. I mean, it was just crazy. And I just laughed about it. We weren't nervous. Sometimes I was in the car trying to do it, and he was somewhere else, and he was in the car. I mean, it was just, we did everything, and not intentionally, but we were just focused on doing these live videos. And so it really helped me to get over, what if this happens? What if the technology doesn't work or whatever? We just did it, went through it, and here I am today, all because I didn't have to do it alone. So I challenge you to get with somebody, that is a little bit maybe more versed. If not, hey, you just do it together as amateurs. And it really will help you focus on what's important, and you'll be able to get it done. These are some amazing dreams that you guys have. So I am really excited to have you guys in my network. And I encourage you to you know, this is also a networking event. Just because we're not all on camera together, you still can reach out, you still can make connections. Hey, I saw you on Lachelle's live, and I just wanted to reach out and say I enjoyed your dream. How can I assist you? Do I have anybody in my network that I can connect you with? I mean, it's just that easy. But also last year, another thing that I did was did a Christmas in July series. So I had several people in my network. They were power partners with me, and they were able to promote their products in collaboration with me to a free event for people in my network. And so we talked about Christmas in July. We shared some strategies on how you can be prepared for the holidays, and we offered some specials and bonuses with Christmas in July. And so it was such a success. We're going to do it again this year. But we had a lot of fun. I was able to have one of my connections that I'm very tight with here on LinkedIn, Mike Asherbranner. We had a thing where they had to do a song. So we were doing the 12 days of Christmas, but we had to come up with our own lyrics. And so they went out to breakout rooms, and they were in different groups. And so each group had to have someone sing their version. And so Mike Asherbrenner was the first one to do his rendition. And it was just too funny. We had a lot of fun. So we're going to be doing that again this year. So it's free. If you want to be a vendor or a sponsor, just reach out to me and let me know. But it was really a good time. And so a great opportunity to network and just have a lot of fun. We had a lot of people there. We gave away gifts, and it was just amazing. So get your ticket and join us. All right. Also, I'm having season 3 of Real Life Without Excuses. And I love this title because, I spent a lot of time thinking about it. So, real is spelled like a highlight reel. A lot of people see you where you are, and they just can't even imagine that you have any challenges. I don't know why. I mean, I have 15 children. That ought to say it enough. But people see you just in a moment, and they think that everything is perfect, but we all struggle with the same thing. So I did it real so that it's behind the highlight reel of really telling the truth on some things that a lot of people experience, and without excuses, because I think we all have roadblocks, we all have challenges, but it doesn't have to stop us from where we are headed. And so I'm looking for 6 guests for season 3, and that is a paid opportunity. You will be a power partner, just like what I'm doing with Rochelle and Misty. And it's just a great opportunity to really highlight your expertise, to get on another platform, to really start building your brand. We will be filming in September, and within 7 weeks, the episode will go live. And a lot of different little goodies and stuff. So if you're interested in that, reach out and let me know. I also have a couple of book collaborations that are coming up. Healing Hearts, Healing the World. That's with Kimberly Lechnick. This book is about, what love story or experience with love helped you during the pandemic. Or just whatever. It may not even be related to the pandemic, but anything where love was really a catalyst for your healing. You overcame something because of love. So that's what that collaboration is about. And then she said yes to herself unapologetically. Anytime that you have learned to just put your foot down, draw the line in the sand for yourself, you're tired of things being the way that they've been, you want something different, then that is what that anthology is about. And then coming up, I have a Fortitude Training. It's a 9 weekly session. It's going to begin June 1st. And I do have scholarships available. So if you're interested, but it's a 9 week course for the building blocks to your business, personal development. It's all about fortitude. Fortitude, if you look that up, can be synonymous to determination, persistence, perseverance, endurance, words like that. So if that's something that you want to build up, then reach out to me because I'm going to start those sessions June 1st, and that will be on Zoom. So that is all that I have for today, you guys. I want to thank those of you that have joined me for this time. Again, I encourage you to reach out to each other. But this is the most important message that I have learned. I came up with this acronym during the pandemic because there was so much talk about, oh my gosh, this pandemic is going to affect the kids, it's going to affect the adults. Everybody's going to be struggling. And I thought, we need to be proactive with our mental wellness. Why wait until there's a problem and then try to solve it? Let's be proactive. And so that's what a smile means to me. Really monitoring these 5 areas. They may not all be at 100% all the time, but at least they are some pillars that you can navigate through. And so you can also quickly navigate through these with other people. So, your kids, if you notice something's a little different, how much sleep have you been getting? Even just asking questions around these pillars can be just the jolt that a lot of people need in order to kind of snap out of some things or raise their awareness for themselves. I think the first thing is like you have to know that you have a problem before you can solve it. And so if they're not able to really identify with any of this, that's the first place you want to start is really helping them to realize, you haven't been sleeping. What's keeping you up at night? You know, Usually it's stress or, they're just, I don't know, they can't sleep. Why can't they sleep? Right. So these are some good precursors for a deeper dialogue. The next thing is your mood. We can all go up and down with our mood. That's normal. But if it's happening for weeks at a time, that's something to take note of. Your inner voice. How are you talking to yourself? Usually, you don't even have to say anything to people. They will tell you what their inner voice is based on how they respond. So it's like, hey, you know what? I am so excited. I'm getting ready to go to this retreat. I don't know why you're going to that. It's just not going to work out. There's just so much negativity. They talk about these scammers. See, that is telling somebody's inner voice because whatever you are thinking or believing, that's what you attract. So, and it comes out based on what you're saying, right? So we start speaking what we believe. And so if there's that negative mindset, that negative energy, that's something to be mindful of. So, yes, we can have it sometimes, but if it's something that is all the time, we're saying something negative, we can start to begin to gauge this for ourselves. Maybe you can just count to 10 before you respond, and that can stop you from saying something negative, you know. So, just thinking about if you pause, if you take a deep breath, if you just, get quiet, right? A lot of these things can help you to have a different response that could definitely serve you and the other person in a better light. And then laughter, right? If you haven't laughed in a few days, go watch something funny. Go on YouTube or Instagram or, any of these platforms, Netflix, and find a comedy that you could watch because this can really help, give you that dopamine or whatever. I don't even know if I'm saying the right term, but the point is, it really can snap you out of, some negative spaces. And then the last thing is monitoring your energy. This was a game changer for me because as a mom, what I would always do would pour into my kids, and then I'd be like, oh, they're in the bed. This is my time. And I would think I'm going to read a book or I'm going to do this. And I'm falling asleep in the chair. I got my glasses on, sleeping in my clothes or whatever. And I'm not getting good rest. And then my kids are up the next morning, like, they have just gotten all the rest in the world. And I'm already waking up feeling like I have to catch up. And so when you're feeling like you have to catch up, it's up to you to really monitor your own energy. What are you eating? Are you drinking enough water? Are you being active enough? Some of these things you can begin to start gauging, and so you can transform that whole situation when it comes to your energy. So that is all I have, guys. This has really been a great opportunity to connect with you guys. Kat, I am so glad that you were able to join us in the LinkedIn room. Paul, it's been a pleasure to be partnered with you with that room because it really is some great pillars of advice and content. And so, again, thanks again for the well wishes for my anniversary. I'm looking forward to collaborating with many of you again. Cheryl, thank you for being on the Bold Voices panel. I really appreciate the insights that you shared and look forward to future collaborations. And Kat, if there's anything that I could do to help you with your dream with autistic women, just reach out and let me know. But for everybody else, thank you again for watching. And remember to reach out to each other. Remember to talk boldly about your dreams and things that you're working on because no one is a mind reader. And with all the distractions and so many things that we all have going on in our life, we're not going to know how we can serve and help people if no one asks. I say this all the time. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. So you can guarantee that you're going to have a no if you don't ask. But if you ask, you never know. You might have a yes. So that is as simple as what it was for me to be connected to Dr. Ivan Meisner, the founder of BNI. I challenge you guys to go look up that organization and see what he's accomplished. And I simply reached out to him on LinkedIn, and I've had the opportunity to interview him at least 3 or 4 times. So uh, get out there, get vocal about what your passion is, what your dreams are, connect with great people. It doesn't take a lot of people, it only takes one that can be the right person to help you get where you want to go. So have an amazing day and thank you guys again. Bye, everybody.